Alright, hi, my name is Amber. Amber is a cat, and I'm going to show you how to draw an anime eye the way I do. First, you're going to want to start drawing the shape of the eye, just the general shape of how you think you're going to want it to look. So I'm going to start with a really light. You have to make the lines light enough so that you can darken it later and so that you can erase parts. So I'm going to do right now, I'm going to start drawing the eyelash line. This is the outer, this is the shape of the eye, and this is where you're going to add the eyelashes on and erase pieces. So I'm thinking of making mine more almond shaped, but you can do yours however you want to do it. This is just how I do it personally. So I'm going to pull it down here and then I'm going to bring it back up. So now here I have my general shape. See, now I'm going to erase parts in a second once I finish this. So see this, how you have the shape of your eye in general. You're going to want to keep this, but you're going to want to erase pieces because in anime, typically they don't stay connected. It's unless you want, well, an animal look. So first I'm going to start drawing out the eyelashes the way I want them so that I know where I'm going to want to erase parts of the eye. Right here. Just gonna darken it a bit where I know for sure I'm gonna want to keep it. Typically I always keep the top line of the eye, and then I start doing little eyelashes here and sweeping out like this. You just want to gently sweep and make like little eyelashes. You don't want them to be gigantic, you don't want them to be tiny unless you're doing realism. So here I'm going to darken these a tiny bit. I'll darken them more later on when the drawing is complete, but this is just a drawing tutorial. So here's a little eyelash here. Alright, so now that I have my top eyelashes the way I might want them, I'm going to erase parts. I'm going to decide where I want it to be erased. So I'm going to try here. I don't know if I like that. I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to connect it at the bottom. Yeah, right there. See, that's typically how it is with anime. It's like sweeps up and it doesn't completely connect. So I'm going to darken the eyelashes now just a little bit more so that I know the definitive line. And then I'm going to start putting in, you don't want too many bottom eyelashes because then it's a little too much and it just, well, it's just too much for me. So I put in like 2 maybe at the edge and I thicken up the corner of the eye. This way it looks really well done. Sorry, I haven't figured out how to do the fast forwarding thing yet, so I'll just be rambling whenever, yeah. So once you start to darken up the arch and your definite shape of the eye, you like how it is. See, now I'm going to add a couple more eyelashes here because I think that they're needed here. Just a little bit. And then one more right there. See, now that I have my eyelashes up here, and I like how they look, I'm going to start to draw the iris shape. That's the part of your eye where there's color and the pupil, if you didn't already know. So, but first, what I always start with is I start with the shine on the iris. So, you slowly and very, very, very lightly, you make your shape of your iris. I always do the top area. Most people do, obviously, because that's where lights are. I don't typically do a plain circle. I add a little bumpy. Why? I don't know, because it's realistic that way, I guess. That's just the way I like to do it. You got to bring it up and connect it to the eye line, but what you can do, what I usually don't do typically, but I'm doing it for the video, is you can bring it up in a circle up back again on the other side. You're going to erase it later because that's where the white of the eye is, but it's just a definitive shape of how I want my shine in case I pull out the iris more. And then you don't have to touch the iris to the bottom of the eye when you draw your little circle. There, I'm going to leave a little space between the eyelash and the iris, right about here. there's the shape of my iris generally. Let me darken that. See how I left a little bit of tiny bit of space between the eyelash and the iris? I do that because, well, I don't know. I just don't generally like my iris touching the bottom of the eye line. Because I don't know, when I look at my irises, they're not too big for my eyes. So there you have the iris shape. And then I'm going to add a little accent shine after I erase this part, of course, because that's not needed. It's the same color. Why would you have a random line in your eye? So you got that all erased. I'm going to add my little accent shine right here. I typically make it like a pointy triangle-ish shape because I don't really like the circle shape at the bottom as well. I feel like that fits better. So then you erase that teeny tiny little spot with the irises. And there you go. Whoops, let me just fix that. There you go. And once you have those two shines, we're going to work on the inside of the iris. Detailing is a great part with everything like that. So you've got this and all of that. Well, you know. So you have this shape now. What we want to add in first is the line of the pupil. So I typically do a thin, longer shape